Jasmin Star.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Thank you. I hope that you're standing not for me, but for yourselves. Because what it's taken for you to get into this room, there's a former version of you who once imagined this, and you've made that dream into reality. So I want to say thank you. And I really am excited to be here because I wanted to have a conversation around the new rules of marketing. So I know, I can't stand when people ask me to raise my hand because I'm so comfortable with my hands in my lap. But I have to let you know that I am not a professional speaker. I am a business owner. And one thing I want to be very clear with is my father is a pastor in East Los Angeles, California, and so I only ever know a talkback church. Now, imagine East Los Angeles, full of Latinos. We have a conversation with the person talking back, whereas other churches, it's like the first church of refrigeration. Here, let's just have a conversation. I want you to win, and marketing is constantly changing, so how can you stay ahead of the curve? I want us to start here. What you're looking at is a photo of me and my twin sister, and this was our really cool girl era. We thought we were gonna create marketing jingles. So we would walk around church, me and my twin sister, and we'd sing double mint gum, okay? We'd sit during the Saturday morning cartoons, and we would say, this is what we're gonna do next. Little did we realize that us recording our pretend radio shows would turn into a passion for me. And so, as I grew up, I quickly realized a couple things. So what you're looking at is me with a lot of ribbons. I'm very competitive. And in case anybody's wondering, that's how many pie eating contests I won in one day. Bless my heart. So I realized that I had a skill of helping people get to where they wanted to go. So the kids in the neighborhood, we wanted to go get ice cream. And we didn't have money. So I said, go get all of your toys, and I'm gonna make signs for a yard sale. And guess what? We were really successful. Until the parents of the kids came at night to my parents' house and said, your daughter had my daughter buy a Cabbage Patch for a quarter. Ooh, we had to return all the toys back. Okay, so my next go around was going to church camp. We got a scholarship. I'm a first generation Latina. My parents did not have a lot of money. So when I told her, I was like, I need a sleeping bag for camp. She says, no, you're gonna get a blanket and a pillow, you're gonna roll it up and you're gonna put it in a trash bag. That's how you're going to camp. And I was mortified. I said, I can't do that. So I decided to sell magazines door to door to get enough money. And let me just tell you, when I unfurled that gray and yellow sleeping bag, I just felt rich. People are like, when did you feel successful? 9 years old at summer camp, unrolling the sleeping bag. Okay. My sister ran for school president, and she just didn't run against anybody. She ran against captain of the cheer squad, who, hand to heaven, was dating the captain of the football team, and all of our friends took a collective gasp. You're running against Stacy Armijo? No. And I was like, you're gonna win. I'm gonna be your campaign manager. Your name's gonna be everywhere. I also was president of my business school of college. I went to college, first generation college student, president of a business fraternity, when at that point in my life, I had never met, known, or seen a business owner up close, ever. And then I dropped out of law school when I realized that I wanted to do something different with my life. But here's the thing I realized in all of those situations, is that marketing and sales go hand in hand. The better I got at one message, one pain, one solution, that's when sales had corresponded. So my promise here to you today is absolute clarity. So what marketing strategies are working now? What aren't working, so please let's stop doing them, and where to focus for real growth? My second promise to you is people will say, oh, Jasmin, I'm just so motivated. I'm just so inspired after your talk. And thank you, but that's not my intention. Because motivation is fleeting. You're gonna get back home after you've been on a high here, and you're gonna be like, what do I have to do? I don't want that. I want you to know, I don't wanna depend on hoping that the content performs. I want the algorithm to cooperate with you. And I wanna move from to. I'm gonna show you how to move from showing up online to building sustainable business growth. So the story starts for me in 2005. I'm the first person in my family to go to college. My twin sister also went to college, and I'm the first person in my family to go beyond that. So I went to law school, and if anybody would ever ask me, why are you going to law school? My honest answer was, I want money. All I knew was that I wanted to get from East Los Angeles to West Los Angeles. And the minute, see, the people from Cali, we get that. We get that, right? It's like you go from East Los Angeles to West Los Angeles, and the cars and the people look more and more European, and the people with any melanin in their skin are the service workers. And I thought, if I become the first person in my family to use a degree to change generations, may I be that and do that. And then everything changed. My mom had a relapse of brain cancer. And when she was New Year's Eve in the hospital for her second brain surgery, we snuck in. Visiting hours were over, but the nurses, they kind of just looked away and they said, go ahead. So we went in, we were with our mother, and she wasn't talking about the things that she hadn't pursued. She looked fondly and said, these were the things that I had done, but here's the things I wish I could do. I was 25 years old and she was 50, and I thought there in that moment, I don't want to die a life where I don't know what it have been to have tried and failed. And I have to tell you that today, February 13th, she's with us and it's her birthday. Yes. So when I talk about beating the odds, when I talk about doing crazy things in crazy ways, I live under an example of somebody who did the very thing. And so when I told my husband, I want to become a photographer and I want to quit law school, he was like, you don't even own a camera. I said, I know, but I feel it. If I did it, it would be successful. And I don't know about you, but who here in this room at one point when you decided to join Itworks, people looked at you and said, what? And may our success silence their doubts. You know? My husband didn't doubt me. He went to Best Buy and spent the money that we had been saving on a camera, and that changed my life. He said, I would rather see you fail at something you love than succeed at something you hate. And he also said, you have your scholarship for another 2 years. You can go back and claim it if it doesn't work. I was like, okay, a little practicality. We can do that. So 2007, I have no money for a website, for business cards, for proper branding. I go to a free blog, and I just start sharing what I'm doing. And I did it wrong. And I wasn't that good. And for every hater that left a mean comment, thank you for the School of Hard Knocks. I got a PhD. You made me better. So as we're progressing, what I continue to do is I created photography content. I was just documenting the journey. Keep it here. Because in 2009, after years of doing it wrong, people were asking me, what are you doing? That's right. By sheer reps and determination, I'm gonna do it wrong until I get it right. So people started asking me. So I thought to myself, okay, well, my husband and I, he would record me as I was shooting and posing clients, and then we put them for $2.99 online. That's right. See, there's a mix. There's a woo, and there's a and both can exist. Because I had never known how to put something online. I had never known how to edit a video. I had never known how to create an online store. I had never known any of those things. Woo! She did it. I didn't know how to put a value on me. $2.99 for a 17-minute video tutorial on how to do what it is. So we have the woo, and we have the Ain't that business? Ain't that business? But the real talk was I was exhausted. We had created a 6-figure revenue stream from photography. We had created a 6-figure revenue stream from this online store, but I felt like I was running back and forth, carrying buckets of water. And what I wanted was a pipeline. Ladies and gentlemen in this room, y'all got a pipeline. Blessings. I don't know about you, but I was exhausted, overwhelmed, and I felt like I was sprinting in place. And I kept asking myself questions like, what do I do next? Why can't I make it to 7 figures? Why am I always stuck here? What's going on with all of this? And I had a realization. I was marketing the solution. I needed to market the solution and myself. I was marketing the photographs. I needed to market the photographs, and the photographer. So this is my invitation to you today. Are you marketing the products? Or are you marketing the products and you in relation to the people who follow you? Okay, I brought you there. I was hoping one person would say amen. You'll get there. Okay, my Latina-ness is gonna push off on you, because if we get at least one person by the end of this one presentation to get one amen, your girl did something right. I can go back and papi. They said amen. Okay, so I talked about marketing the solution, not the solution in myself. But let me walk you through a brief history of my career under 30 seconds. In 2006, I became a photographer without a camera, and I didn't know what I was doing. By 2010, I was being paid to create content on behalf of my blog of other businesses who wanted attention, because I had developed a readership of 30,000 unique views a day during blog time. Then I realized I didn't want to create content on behalf of anybody else, so I went to these companies and I said, thank you so much, I really appreciate it. They said, wait, can we hire you as a consultant? I went to Google, what is a consultant and how much do they make? And I was like, oh, I went back and was like, yes, consulting, here are my rates. They said yes. I was like, your girl is a photographer and a consultant, and I have an online store now. And then I did that for a while, and it was really successful. Then I realized that deep inside me, I have a passion for small business owners. So I said, no more of the corporate clients. What I want to do is I'm going to create a course helping entrepreneurs learn how to market their business. And then I sold it, because my worth had increased from $2.99 to $147. Okay. We did 7 figures with a $147 course, and we added other course. And in a matter of a year, we had multiple 7-figure revenue streams. I wasn't marketing the solution, I was marketing the person and the solution. And then all of a sudden, after I have no experience creating membership, and people said, Jasmin, we really want a membership. And I said, okay, I didn't have a camera. I was never a consultant. I didn't know how to create courses. I don't know how to make a membership. And you wanna know what? Let's go. Created a membership. And the first day that we launched it, 2,500 people decided to join. And I was like, what in the world is going on? Which is the same thing I said in 2021 when I decided to create a SaaS company. I don't know a line of code. I don't know what I'm doing, and all I wanted to do was to empower small business owners to integrate with every social platform to get no more excuses not to post on social media. Can I get an amen? So my husband and I, my high school sweetheart and my business partner, created a holding company in 2023. Every step of the way, I have been marketing the solution and the person. The question I proffer to you today is, are you willing to do the same thing? Okay, Mark, half the room is in. Half the room is in. Okay. By the end, y'all are gonna be in. I didn't do my job if we do not get everybody to say, yes, I would like to market my business and make more money. Okay, so I'm the founder of Social Curator, and it is a SaaS company. So what we have is a lot of stats, data, and analytics of how small business owners are marketing their business. I'm not coming up to you with feelings. I want to talk to you about facts. What's getting us stuck about posting on social media? I now serve as CEO of Jasmin Star Brands, and across all social platforms, we have over 1 million followers and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people on a newsletter list. I talk to entrepreneurs, but I didn't get there overnight. I want to be the first to tell you I was unfunded, uneducated, unqualified, and unconnected. If anybody in this room identifies with that, let's go to the moon. Let's go to the moon. Okay, so y'all see what I just did? I had to get you to trust me before you ever listen to me. Y'all have to do the same thing on social media. You have to explain you. You got to be about you. And I want to be very clear. I got about 72% of the room with me. And that other remainder, they're sitting there side-eyed. She's too much. She talks too fast. Do I talk fast or do you listen slow? Okay. Hey! I want to be very clear. I'm only here to attract or repel. I don't want lukewarm people. Lukewarm people don't buy and they waste your time. Okay, we're getting you there. Now what we're gonna do now is remember, attract and repel. Cool. Let's get into the 4 best rules to market your business in 2026. Marketing rule number 1, interest versus social. So, social media used to be about getting more followers. In fact, if I had the chance to speak on a stage at Itworks probably 6 years ago, I probably would have said, more followers, this is the best way to get more followers. Well, the game has changed. Every social platform is intended to change to keep you interested. If you're not guessing, they're not doing it right. Now, we hate that because we like the way that we show up, and all of a sudden it's like, it no longer works anymore. That's right. That's marketing. So in 2026, the algorithm works totally differently. How many followers you have means very little. So if there are people in this room saying, well, I have like 400 followers, don't mean a thing. There's never been a better moment for somebody to find you than there is now. That excuse of, I'm just not getting discovered. Well, are you showing up? Okay, I know. Somebody came with a bazooka to a knife fight. I was like, okay. So what we want to do is your content is going to get seen by followers and discovered by new followers due to interest, not who you follow or who follows you. So let's just say you and I follow the same 100 people. When I open my app, I will not see what they see, even though we follow the same people. Why? Because if I'm into puppies and yoga, and you're into crypto and financial, and you're into skincare and great style, when we open our app, we are going to see things, puppies and yoga, crypto and finance, stylish clothing. Okay, so if we then know that that's the case, what then and how do we leverage it? Let's break this down with an example. This is my Instagram profile. I'm gonna tell you very clearly, I'm the CEO of Jasmin Star Brands. I'm a business strategist. I'm a speaker and a podcaster. I'm saying who I am, what I'm for. I help you grow your business from 6, 7 to 8 figures. That's my shtick, how to learn more, a direct link to where they go to give me money. Are we on the same page? Okay. So it was very common for people to see exclusively this type of content when the algorithm was follower-based. Well, my followers were there for marketing and business tips. So $1 million business ideas, 6 tax loopholes in 60 seconds, the day in the life of a keynote speaker, rerouting in life and business. That was a lot of the content until interest started changing the game. So 2026 algorithm prioritizes interests. So how can you blend your interest and your marketing? That's gonna be the key. Ask yourself, am I blending my interest and my marketing? So let's break this down with an example. So what you'll see here is a caption. Ready for a reset? 81 grams of protein in this smoothie. As a business owner, I fuel with nutrition for mind and body. I work long days and I love what I do, but in order to keep my energy and focus high, I drink this smoothie filled with healthy fats and proteins. Then I share the recipe. What does a smoothie have to do with my entrepreneurship? I connected the dots, but the people who will see this content might not be people who are interested in marketing and business. But if we find a way to meet by way of interest, and then they might be interested in who I am and what I do, that's the game. So when it's 81 grams of protein, that means nothing for my business and everything to garner attention into areas that other people might be interested in. Are we on the same page? Yeah. Great. So what does marketing look like for me in 2026? I write my own posts, I create my own posts, I post my own posts, I respond to my own DMs. I am looking at what is actually popping and getting me into different circles. You are what you cultivate when no one's watching. What do I want? I want to attract people who care about excellence. What's your coffee drink? Listen, I know entrepreneurs, we love caffeine. What am I doing? Creating caffeine content to connect with other people in different ways. Older sister vibes. Let me just tell you, if you want to get something done, you give it to the older sister. I want to work with older sisters. Like the older sisters are the man of the house. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I know all the men are like, what? I was like, talk to my dad. Okay, so I post a piece of content, my $25,000 mistake. I'm open about my mistakes because I want to normalize the entrepreneur journey. I am putting out content to attract a very specific person based on interest. Are we on the same page? Beautiful. There is one thing I want to mention. I help people start and grow their businesses. Tens of thousands of people. And I spend my days analytics, data, building strategy. I am in the weeds, so I understand what's happening in marketing. And nothing kills me more than seeing an Instagram bio and having no idea what you sell. None. Or worse, I don't even know your name. If I get a DM from you, I'm so inspired, Jasmin, and I want to go back and I want to personalize the message, and it gets back and it's like fitness for moms in their 40s, puppies and yoga and nutrition. And I'm like, what's your name? Well, I know, the room got real quiet. Everyone's like, bring out their phone, add my name. Okay, I want to optimize your bio in 4 simple steps. Real quick, because Your Instagram bio, your LinkedIn bio, your YouTube bio, that's today's business card. So I want you to look at a business card, and if it ain't pointing to your business, we could do better. I'm gonna play a video that walks you through it in about 27 seconds.
Nothing kills me more than watching somebody's Instagram bio and having no idea what it is they sell. Let's optimize your bio in 4 simple steps. Step 1, what do you sell? Let's keep it simple. Weight loss, therapy services, software for real estate agents. Step 2, tell me who it's for. Let's get specific. Women in menopause, single dads of toddlers, people applying to law school. Step 3, your contact info, email address, phone number. Let's get going. Lastly, your exit link. Let's make sure that this link is pointing to your website or a sales page, somewhere where somebody can buy. When a specific group of people know exactly what you sell and how it makes their life better with a clear way to buy from you, that is how you turn your followers into customers.
What you sell. And I want you to, I call it the 5th grader test. If a 5th grader won't understand what you put in your bio, the average person on social media won't either. 2, who it's for. To say that you're for women or men, not enough. Let's get very, very specific. Your contact info, and please, for everything holy, your name. Tell me your name, and an exit link to invest. Marketing rule number 2, marketing you. So let's go back, because whenever I talk or even proffer the idea of marketing yourself, people are like, oh no, definitely no. Okay, let's go back to 2016. There were big businesses on social media, big office supply stores, big skincare supply, big health and wellness, great. Well, back then, there's like Steve, Dick, and Harry, and they're like, well, there's this thing called social media and we need to be on there, and Steve, Dick, and Harry are not going to be creating content. So what did they do? They went to people who had audiences, AKA attention. And it was at this time that people were making $50,000 to $100,000 based on the trust they built with their followers and making money. And then, a couple years later, big business owners with influence. People often say, Jasmin, she's an influencer. And I'm very quick to remind them, no, I'm not an influencer. I'm a business owner with influence. And there is a difference. So this started revealing itself in 2018 with people like Kim Kardashian and Skims, and Rihanna with Fenty, and Travis Kelce with Garage Beer, and Charli D'Amelio with popcorn, and Mr. Beast with Beastables. We see these mega people who are no longer getting paid to promote, they're getting paid to own. That changed the game. So what happens in 2026? What I see and what I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, that there are small business owners on social media with influence. Everyday people selling online to their followers. Can I get an amen? This room understands this. My invitation was like, how do we up-level it? I became very uncomfortable putting myself in front of a camera. It wasn't natural for me. I had a conversation with my father, and this is what he told me, and it changed my life. When you help someone do something, or become someone, you change their life, expand yours, and become a powerful force for good. When my content was about how I felt, I was focused on me. And when I created my content to help somebody else, a former version of me, I showed up for them, I didn't show up for me. And when I focus on helping one other person, nothing else matters. So when we see this is recently, there's a woman, let me go back. There's a woman in my neighborhood who created a brand, and she just said, I'm looking for non-toxic fragrances. She couldn't find anything that she liked. So her, a single mom, decided to create non-toxic fragrances on her own, then got picked up on the #1 page on Revolve and sold out immediately. She did this entirely on her own with a nominal size following. And then I realized that there's people like me who do the same thing, but in a digital way. I empower people to create digital offers for consistent 10K months, and then consistent 100K months, and then consistent $1 million years. I am an average person, but remember, I'm not marketing the solution, I'm marketing myself and the solution, and I believe you can and should do that too. Because the truth of the matter is that people are looking to real people. People are looking for people they can trust. Does anybody ever feel like any one of their followers is asking to trust you? So if then that's the case in a saturated market or there's a lot of competitors, you are the quickest differentiation, because let's call a spade a spade. Everybody in this room sells the same thing. Why am I going to buy from you? Because you resonate with me on some level. And it could be our dog, it could be that we like Reese's Pieces, it could be that our favorite place of vacation is Cabo, it could be about random things. But if we don't talk about the interest to connect us, I don't know who to buy from. Now, for the people who say, yes, but the game is for white people, black people, old people, young people, skinny people, fluffy people, rich people, less than people. There is somebody out there who is doing more with less. I just want to ask you, do you want it? How lucky are you to have the option to post? You must just love that roof over your head and that nice car. So you have a nice enough house and a nice enough car and a nice enough support system that it leaves you comfy. But let me tell you, my whole life has only ever been, do you want it? Because if you do, there is no other option. And when you have no other option, you play the game differently. You radiate differently. So 2026, and let me tell you, if this isn't resonating with you and you don't like it, no problem. No problem. I'm not here to tell you, you must do this. I'm going to lay out the facts. If you choose not to show up the way that I do, and about half of this room will after this, no problem. But please remember, you cannot complain about the results you don't have from the work you do not do. Yeah, okay, I know. Mark is like, girl, I'm never inviting you back. I know. May this be my benediction. Okay, marketing rule number 3, the power of one. Okay, so I want you to think of your content like a wide net. Let's say you and I are on a boat, and we have, okay, so number 1, I'm from Newport Beach. So I'm not on a boat, I'm on a yacht, okay? So you and me are on a yacht, and I give you a net, and I have a net, and I'm gonna put that net over the side, and you're gonna put that net over the side. Our content is there to attract attention and build trust. We want to attract curiosity. Awesome. But how can we create predictable leads, not just followers? If I was giving a presentation on how to get followers, I would want you to be popular. I am giving you a conversation around getting leads because I want you to be profitable. Okay, so how many leads can you predict from your social post each day? I'm gonna tell you, it's unpredictable. Some posts do well, others don't. I don't know if you've ever thought, like, you've worked so hard on a post, and you're like, this one's gonna bring people to tears. It's my story. And you put it out, and like, nobody cares. And then there's another post where you're in the car, put up your phone, and you're like, I can't. I have no makeup on, messy hair, don't care, a big jug of water, and you're like, okay, blah, 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 and then it just goes off. And you're like, what? That's right. Our posts are unpredictable because we don't know what other people want until we experiment. So I just happen to be a big fan of experimenting a lot. So how can I have one post that does 7 million and then another post that does 7,000? The disparity between them is bananas. So the post itself is unpredictable, but what can you predict? When it comes to marketing on social, we don't want to depend on things we can't control. We cannot control when Adam Mosseri changes the algorithm. We cannot control when Mark Zuckerberg moves from California to Texas because of the billionaire law. Hey, Texas just got richer. Okay, so what can you control? Direct message outreach. So I want to talk a little bit about the game has changed. Do that in 30 seconds.
0 followers, 0 ad money, 0 leads. What are you gonna do? Damn. Direct message outreach, baby. 70 conversations a day for 30 days. And now you have 2,100 leads. If you're wondering why 70 is the magic number, ask Mark. Okay, so when you send more than 70 messages, your account might get restricted, so 70 it is. Even if you have 0 followers, I want you to see how powerful this strategy really is.
So that was the math. When you combine your free content, you know your net, we'll put out our net, and direct message outreach, you can generate more than 2,100 leads a month. So this is how I break it down. If I send 35 DMs on Instagram every day for 30 days, that's over 1,000 leads. If I decide to do that on any other social platform like Facebook, that's another 1,000 leads. So combined on 2 platforms, 2,100 leads. I don't know about you, but I'll take that every day and twice on Sunday. I posted that video and I got a lot of questions. Are you meaning to do a sales pitch in the DMs or just DM people and have actual conversations? 70? Okay, I was doing 10. What am I supposed to say? I'm really confused by this. What exactly are you saying to people to start these conversations? So I did the best I could in the comments to try to explain. I'm introducing myself, I'm asking questions, I'm starting conversations, and a lot of time it leads to business. But lucky for us, I'm in a room and now we can dive deep. Does anybody remember the attract or repel? I don't want lukewarm folk. So I want you to think of social media like a cocktail party, like the one gonna go on tonight. And if you think about that and you get like your stomach start to turn because you just don't like cocktail parties, okay, fine. Imagine it like a farmer's market. Social media is like the mall. Social media is like Main Street, USA. Okay, if I had a stall at a farmer's market and I was selling soap, my stall would be there and I just cross my fingers and I just hope people find my stand. I just hope that they do. They might. Majority of people won't. How do I get attention to my stand in the corner at the farmer's market, my store in the corner at the mall? How do I get my message as I walk into tonight's cocktail party to the person in the farthest leftmost corner? How do I do that? Do I go in and say, hello, my name is Jasmin Starr, would you like to buy my product? Of course not. Social media is exactly human-to-human conversations, but we look at it as I gotta show up perfectly, I gotta say the right thing at all the right times, and you're always ready to buy because I have it together. No, it's not that. I want us to change our mind and deeply understand is you have what they're looking for. Somebody is uncomfortable, in pain, stressed, foggy brain, overweight, dissatisfied, and guess what? You have what they need. But many of us want to sit in our stall. I hope they come to me. So if you and I are having a conversation, I want you to get out from the stall. I want you to go, take a broom, start sweeping. Hey, good morning. How are you doing? I saw you here last week. You brought the puppy this time. That's what we need to do in DMs before we ever get to say, oh yeah, I have a store in the corner. You should check it out. So the more messages you send every day, and the more consistent you are, the more people are going to talk about your business. This isn't magic. It's just math. I'm a data nerd. I love math. When I went into college, I tested into an advanced calculus class, having never done college grade calculus. I just get numbers. So all I did was the nerd thing. I am socially awkward. I'm behind the camera, never in front of the camera. I'm somebody who's not really represented in many spheres of social media when it first started, so what can I do? Math. What do I need to do to get a result? And that's what I'm sharing with you today. So your focus is to send messages every day. I do this, I want you to. And I don't want you to say, oh, I'm going with the sales pitch. No, you're saying hi. You're looking at their profile and be like, oh, how was the trip to Amalfi? You're being social on social media? No complaints. If we're not sending messages and we're wondering why people aren't coming to us, well, you're not doing the work to get the result. If you're struggling to get people to view your content, I want you to take your content to them. And what is your content? You. You are your content. Why? You have a solution they need. And the more you hide, the more they're in pain. So, I want to remind everybody, because I've done this enough for people to say, well, that just works for her, so it just wouldn't work for me. I have sent DMs. I have a $30,000 mastermind for 7-figure founders. It's an 8-month program. I sold out the entire thing on DM. Send a link. I was booked as a $25,000 keynote speaker. The event had it. We're looking for speakers. I pitched myself. I got an email. I sent it and booked it off a DM. The consistent 10K was just an idea, and I started DMing people, and people said yes to the program. So we can all come up with reasons, or we can come up with excuses. There is somebody out there who needs what you have, and they need help. So here's a review of the top 4 things. We're on number 1, 2, and 3, interest versus social marketing. Number 2, marketing you. And number 3, the power of one-to-one marketing. So now let's go into an old school feature that I see about 98 people missing. And this right here is pure gold. Please don't sleep on this. So anytime you pin a post on social, you're gonna choose a piece of content that stays right at the very top of your profile. You can pin on LinkedIn, you can pin on Instagram. So intentionality matters. When people come to your profile, you want them immediately to know, because We're in interest-based marketing. People are gonna be discovering you in new ways. When they come to your profile, listen, I love your babies. What do you sell? Okay, so let's give an example of 3 pin posts. We'll use Instagram as an example. 3 pin posts. What you'll see is the 5 visuals that hit me like a train. This is gonna be a mindset. I am trying to attract a very specific person, and in there are very quick graphics on how they can retrain their mind, and I'm giving them the content right there. A money mindset class and my method. I'm gonna break these down one by one because I want you to do the same thing. The first post is what I call a quick win freebie. I want you to show the dream outcome, and then I want you to give them something for free to take a step towards it. In-app. If you want to build trust, you have to give your best advice, your best insights, and if somebody learns how to do it and they take action and they get a result, hot dang, they are on your team. Let's say I'm a home organizer. A lot of people will say, here's a before and after. Anybody in this crowd do before and afters? Okay, so if we're all doing before and afters, what do we have to do? Get one offer, one message. So we want to really hone in on is I'm not talking about before and afters. I'm talking about the feelings of before and afters, the chaos of it, the calm that they want. What am I doing? I'm differentiating myself from my competition by explaining it from my perspective. So then I'm gonna say, comment a specific word. And if they comment clean, then what I'm gonna do, old school, not an automation. If you have an automation, like ManyChat, go right ahead. I'll still do this old school. I'll send them the 5 steps to get what it is that they want. It's gotta be something that people want to click on. The goal is to show the result that people want, and then boom, quickly get them there. The example is how to build the right mindset, and what I did is I put together posts that remind people success doesn't come in days, it comes in decades. What I'm gonna do is I tell people, oh, we set a goal, we think we're gonna set a goal, and then it's gonna be a straight line to it. No, it's not. What am I doing with this content? I am telling you, if you think that what this is an overnight success or an overnight outcome for you, we're wrong. I am pre-qualifying people. The second is a how-to post. You're gonna walk through something step by step and name it a goal. This is gonna be more robust than the first one. And then you're gonna show them how to start doing it. So let's go back to this home organization example. How to organize your kitchen in 15 minutes. People are like, I don't know about that. Exactly. This post is all about walking them through with specific steps. Show your best stuff for free. If you don't like my best stuff online, great, you're never gonna buy from me. I have a very high satisfaction. Why? Because I already built the know, like, and trust on the front end. If you liked it then, you'll definitely like what's on the inside. Then I'm gonna ask people to leave a comment. Why am I asking people to leave a comment? It drives engagement and helps my post get discovered by more people. So this was a money mindset masterclass. It's a free masterclass that's explaining to people how I moved and built an 8-figure business, starting with nothing. And it's free, and it's no pitch. What am I trying to do? Build the know, like, and trust. The last is the POP, the P-O-P, problem, opportunity, and promise. And this is what points directly to your offer. But what did we do with the first 2 posts? Build trust, likability, blow their mind so that what happens? Let's just say I put out a post. Feel like your living room is always a mess no matter how much you clean? You should do this. What did we just write there on the caption, easily for people to see? The problem, messy house. The problem, brain fog. The problem, weight loss. The problem, I can't sleep. Opportunity, do this. And then in the caption, you go deep. What are we doing? We're identifying the pain. Remember how I said you have an offer that will be the solution to their pain? This is where you explain it. In the caption, you're going to explain exactly how you do it. So what we have here is a long-form piece of action speaking to the desire that somebody wants in business. And then I have them drop a keyword. And in that keyword, what am I going to do? It says drop the keyword method. They're raising their hand to start a sales conversation with me. And that's pinned. So what do they see? The quick win freebie right there. Help them. Quick action, quick result. The how-to, detailed, step-by-step, sharing the best things you have, and the pop post, direct offer. There's no mistake, you know what it is that I sell. So in 2026, the new rules of marketing, they all work together. Interest marketing attracts new followers and gets attention. And then people say, well, other people are saying the same message, but they're not saying anything like you marketing. And then once they know it's the you marketing, then you get to send direct messages and start one-on-one conversations, not only with new followers, but with new leads. And then if you're trying to attract the new leads, you have your pinned post, so that if your post gets discovered and they go to your profile, they see your bio, they know what it is you do. So then they see your pinned post and they say, oh, what is this? Let me see if I should send a direct message. And then they send a direct message and they realize that you are the person behind it and it's you marketing. And guess what? They found you because of interest. So the marketing works one way and the marketing works the other way. Don't worry, we're recording this. You can watch this on half speed later. What happens if it doesn't happen the way we want it? Because you're going to go back home and you're going to say, that Jasmin, she doesn't know me. She doesn't know my part of the country. She doesn't know my family. She doesn't know. Because I believe and I have seen over decades of doing this, you're going to write posts that nobody reads. And you're going to create posts that nobody engages with. And you're going to speak to empty rooms. And you're going to record podcasts that nobody listens to. And you're going to go live and nobody watches. And then you're going to make an offer that nobody takes. And you might find yourself at one point in time asking, why am I doing this? What am I doing this for? And I have to tell you that I learned how to create purpose in a trailer park. I copied what I saw. Because purpose is not taught, it is caught. And the person who modeled this for me very clearly was my grandmother. Because what she taught me as a young child, and I didn't know it then, but I know it now, is that purpose isn't present. Purpose is generational. So my grandmother was born and raised in Ciales, Puerto Rico. That's where she met my, yeah, Wepa, mommy, yes! So, Ciales. My mom is born there. They come to the United States. And I have to tell you, it was very hard for her because they ended up in East Los Angeles. My grandmother took 3 buses to work. She had 3 children, one with very serious special needs. She was financially dependent on a verbally abusive husband. She was a sweatshop seamstress. She sewed basketballs in the winter and bikinis in the summer, knowing that the things she made would be things she could never afford for her own children. And let me tell you, she refused to quit. She had no other option than to make it work. And what I learned is that purpose requires perseverance. And purpose requires patience. And purpose requires the promise not to quit. And it was because of her sacrifice that her granddaughter gets to stand on a stage. And when she crawled, I get to run. And so I want to remind you, on the days where you wonder, what is this for? You might just be planting a tree for somebody to one day stand in the shade of the tree that you planted. And so I am here to remind you that the work you do late at night, and the work you do early in the morning, and the work you do alone, and the work that you wonder why, and the work that you did to get into this room, to get your kids to babysitters, to ask your partner to co-sign, to call in every favor you ever had, to scrimp the last penny to get that flight and sit in the last chair on the plane in front of the bathroom. You did it. Yes, for you. But you're doing it for the people who will stand on your shoulders in the future. If I may, can you stand? I would like you to stand in honor of yourself. I would like you to stand and say, even if nobody sees this hard work, there will be future generations to say that we became financially independent. We changed the trajectory. We left the chains of bondage to debt because of the things we're doing now. So I want you to give yourself a round of applause. Good job, good job, good job, good job. Thank you, thank you, thank you.